This video is going to look at how Barry Lyga's boy toy is comparable to Homer's The Odyssey. Odysseus, the Greek epic hero in the Odyssey, is known for going through a series of battles, challenges, and tribulations in order to return to his home and rightful place as king of his kingdom in Ithaca. Some of the struggles Odysseus goes through and the characters he faces throughout his journey home are similar to the struggles and characters encountered by Josh in Boy Toy. Let's take a closer look at some of the similarities between Josh Mendel and Odysseus. Readers hear from the perspectives of Josh as an 18-year-old boy after he has already been molested and experienced a series of problems related to the stress caused from his relations with his teacher, Mrs. Eve Sherman, at age 13. This is similar to how the Odyssey begins 10 years after the Trojan War and right before a new series of problems start to arise for Odysseus. Josh is described as having a superhuman ability to quickly make mathematical computations in his head. Having a superhuman trait is common in an epic hero. Odysseus' superhuman ability is his strength. Along with Josh being highly intelligent and being quick at solving math problems in his head, Josh is known for being a highly skilled baseball player at his school. In fact, towards the end of the novel, the entire baseball team and many individuals in his school are relying on Josh to make the winning hit at the last baseball game of the season. Josh's success or failure for his game will determine the fate of his whole team. This is just like how Odysseus' success or failure as a king determines the fate of his people of Ithaca. Both Josh and Odysseus are complex yet realistic characters who are relatively dynamic, which are common of epic heroes. When it comes to their individual journeys, Odysseus' epic ordeal does not come to an end until he returns home and is back to performing his role as a ruler of Ithaca. Similarly, Josh is not happy until he comes to terms with what Eve did to him. Next, we're going to look at Eve Sherman and Calypso. On top of all the struggles and problems associated with being a normal teenage boy, Josh has to overcome a particularly difficult challenge. Being molested by his teacher. Eve is for Josh what Calypso is for Odysseus, an evil temptress. In the Odyssey, Calypso seduced Odysseus and keeps him away from his wife and son for years until Athena intervened and was able to rescue him and help him return to his family. This is exactly what happens in Boy Toy. Eve seduces Josh and keeps him away from his friends and family until Rachel brings their unconscionable relationship to the surface. Calypso is one of the ocean nude sea nymphs. Her name is related to a Greek word meaning to conceal, and she symbolized the forces that divert men from their goals. Eve also concealed Josh in her home and hid their relationship from everyone so she would not get in trouble from the authorities. The nymphi presided over various natural phenomena, from springs to clouds, trees, caverns, meadows, and beaches. They are responsible chiefly for the care of the plants and animals of their domain. As a teacher, Eve would be comparable to a nymph of the modern world since she was expected to rule over and care for the children in her classroom domain. When we first encounter Calypso in the Odyssey, she is detaining Odysseus by entertaining him on her private island of Ogygia. It isn't until later that Odysseus is reported to have been kept under his will and trapped and tricked into staying there. This sounds awfully familiar to how Eve started off getting Josh into her home by working on a project with him and entertaining him with soda and video games until their relationship advanced into a sexual relationship. All of this was, of course, predetermined and premeditated by Eve, which made Josh an innocent and unsuspecting victim. Just as Odysseus was unable to leave the island and escape Calypso, Josh could not get away from Eve, who was constantly calling him and driving him over to her house. Next, I will compare the role of Rachel Madison to Athena. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and battle, had a soft spot for the brave and cunning Odysseus. Rachel also had a soft spot for Josh because she had a crush on him since she was a little girl, and they had been close friends ever since they were younger. Athena is a strong, independent, and intelligent female who is always trying to help Odysseus and keep him safe. Rachel is like Athena because she is also a smart female who may not be a goddess of battle but is considered an extremely talented softball player. Just as Athena can relate to Odysseus for their love of battle, Rachel and Josh relate to each other due to their love of baseball, and they are constantly making bets and challenging one another. The main goal for Athena and Rachel is to keep Odysseus and Josh safe throughout their journey and help them get back to themselves again. Athena is constantly reassuring Odysseus during his battle with the suitors, and always encourages him to keep going throughout his journey home. Just like Rachel seems to reappear into Josh's life when he needed her the most, Athena is constantly sent by Zeus to help Odysseus whenever he is in danger or having difficulty overcoming a situation. Additionally, Athena is recognized for being the individual who restored the peace at the end of the Odyssey, just like Rachel is the one who helped Josh find peace within himself and helped him become happy again at the end of Boy Toy. Next, we're going to look at Zeke, Lorenz, and Telemachus. When looking at the role of Josh's best friend Zeke, he is easily comparable to Odysseus' son Telemachus. In the Odyssey, Telemachus is noted as never fully matching his father's talent, just as Zeke is described as being a good baseball player, but not quite as good as Josh, and he is apparently nowhere near as smart as Josh either. In the Odyssey, Telemachus is fully devoted to protecting his father's estate and preserving the memory and honor of his father, but doesn't quite know how to protect the estate from the suitors. As time goes on, Telemachus becomes more assertive, and when Penelope and Euryclea become anxious or upset, he does not shy away from taking control. This is similar to the way that Zeke is devoted to being a good friend to Josh, but doesn't always know how to help him because Josh doesn't always tell him what's wrong and causing him stress or what happened with Eve in the past. Zeke also grows more assertive as time goes on and starts protecting his girlfriend Michelle more and standing up to Josh when he's being unreasonable or particularly aggressive. The last comparison I will be making is how the Phæacans are like Josh's therapist, Dr. Kennedy. When Odysseus is on his way back home to Ithaca, and the royal family of the Phæacans offer him refuge on the Sahara Islands, they promise to give him safe passage to Ithaca so long as they hear the story of Odysseus' adventures. The ways in which the Phæacans listen to and console Odysseus is comparable to the way Josh's therapist, Dr. Kennedy, says he will help him overcome his struggles, but can only do so if Josh is honest and tells him the truth about what happened. When we look at everything together, and looking at Barry Lyga's Boy Toy and Homer's The Odyssey, there are undeniably many similarities between them. Both Boy Toy and The Odyssey start in medias res, and have main characters with many of the same qualities, characteristics, and end goals in mind. Both tales revolve around a dynamic character, who is portrayed as a hero with supernatural qualities. Josh and Odysseus both go through a series of struggles in order to return to a familiar and happy state of mind. Josh and Odysseus are similarly seduced and trapped by a female temptress, the school teacher Eve for Josh and the nymph Calypso for Odysseus. Neither Josh nor Odysseus are able to get to a state of peace without the help of Rachel or Athena. Both Rachel and Athena do everything they can to relate to and help Josh and Odysseus throughout their difficult journeys. With the help of trusted friends and allies, both Josh and Odysseus are able to overcome their issues and return back to their lives.